If you do burlesque and want to be on Sal's show like us, Sal says to go ahead and contact him at this address and come on down to Sal's show yourself.
So, Mikey, what's your take on this thing? We were talking earlier before the cameras were rolling, just about the whole idea that you don't have to be the perfect male specimen to perform. So, tell us about you.
Well, I'm a writer and comedian, and I actually got into burlesque through my wife, who's our missing troupe member today.
Okay.
But for her, it was exciting to watch her develop her stagecraft and kind of come into her own as far as someone who could, put on that type of image when she wanted to. And it was an amazing confidence booster for her. And so I got involved. She invited me in to work on some acts with her, and I learned from the community at large that it really doesn't matter. If you think your body is not right for it, it's accepting of all kinds. And some of my favorite performers have been big, small, like all over the map. And it's really about expressing yourself and enjoying what you do rather than how good your body is. And so when I get up and I do my little comedy dance, it's out of respect to real burlesque performers who do it very well. But it's also to show that, maybe if a chubby guy can get up there and take his pants off and have the crowd applaud, like, yeah. If you ever wanted to do that but felt held back, maybe now you can.
Now you can, huh?
Yes.
Real burlesque. You use that term, real burlesque. I think that brings me back to my days as a high school kid, and one of the traditions. It was almost like the rites of passage for a kid growing up here in Malden was that you had to skip school at least one day in your senior year. And there used to be a place in Boston called the Old Howard Casino.
Oh, I've heard stories.
Fancy.
That's right. I go way back to the Old Howard Casino of going in and sitting there and eyes wide open and mouth dropping and all, and watching the craft of the day.
Hi, I'm Mikey Shake, and I couldn't do what I do without my friends and all the rest burlesque. So here's us getting on stage and having a little fun, and just remember, don't stop the rock. A big part of burlesque is, reflecting on pop culture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's always been a big aspect.
Yep.
Well, there's just many different types of burlesque you can do too. I mean, there's, gorelesque, there's classic burlesque, there's queerlesque, there's, boylesque.
For those of us who are uninformed, would you give us some of the definitions of those
All right.
those fancy words that you just used?
Well, there's classic burlesque, is the fan dancing and the one that you were talking about.
Okay.
Actually, one of our troupe, Roxy Shake, is kind of she's the queen of that in our troupe.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's gorelesque, which is, horror, bloody, just kind of dark more.
Very dark.
Yeah, and that's, the one that I like to cater to. And then Queerlesque is like, let's see, how do you?
LBGT.
Yeah,
Positive.
very positive. It's so great. It's, they really put on a great show all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone does a great job.
Yeah.
What
And
else?
Boylesque is boys. Or men.
Men, boys.
It's interesting, and then there's some male burlesque performers who don't like the term boylesque,
True.
which I find
Mhm.
interesting.
But then there's also
Just-
like the gender benders and
Yeah.
like the, people that are just kind of feeling like, you know what? We had a troupmate, Leather Pixie. She's just moved,
Yeah.
so she's not with us. But she would do a gender bender number where she would, be dressed up as a man, and it's wonderful. It's, she felt so great doing it, and so much positive energy for her, and it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
That was a great number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very
Well,
nice.
it's interesting that we're doing this. I think that, from my perspective, people need to see what's going on. You don't have to necessarily like everything that you see or embellish everything that you see, but I think, for me sitting here watching this, I said, should I be up here on this stage with talking about this? And my conclusion is that it's more information. People can take the information. You presented a product. You can either decide that you like this and you want to see more about it, or you can turn it off and move on to something else. And that brings me to this flyer that you have.
Yes.
You are doing a performance soon.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Mikey,
well,
you know the
Mikey,
most,
go
the
ahead.
Most, he knows the most facts. I just show
Okay.
up.
We're going to be celebrating the troupe's 1.5th birthday in May.
1.5 birthday. Okay.
We're often a little late on things, so we decided to just go ahead and have the 1.5. But we love to make our shows an event, so it's not just going to be birthday party themed. We're going to have balloon animals and face painting and cake and prizes and games and striptease. But because of burlesque isn't necessarily just striptease, we've got a strongman and hula hoopers and a musical performance and some stand-up comedy by some friends of ours.
And that's taking place where and when?
This will be at the Midway Cafe in Jamaica Plain on May 24th. It is a 21 and up event.
Yep.
too.
21 and up.
Yep.
Now, let me just segue into, you talked about, I think, Clara, you brought up the idea of wrestling.
Yes.
You guys are into wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Malden had since passed away, but a great wrestler that, well, he was before your time, but there was a guy named Killer Kowalski.
Oh,
Ever
yeah.
heard of that name?
Oh, yeah, we all know
Oh,
that.
yes.
Killer
Definitely.
Kowalski
Yeah.
was Malden's
Oh,
own.
famous.
I did not know that.
And lived right here in Malden. I would sometimes see him shopping in the supermarket. And, he had
so cool.
he had his specialty that he referred to as the claw.
Oh, yeah.
He put this
Get it.
claw on
Yeah.
your
Oh,
stomach.
yeah.
And so we have obviously come to realize that a lot of that was performing and acting. Is wrestling today real wrestling, or is it performing and acting?
It's the
Who's
same.
going to tell me that?
It's
Clara,
the same,
tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. You have to be very physical.
Yes.
You have to be very
You
physical,
cannot
okay.
fake gravity. You cannot fake picking someone up and throwing them. But there is some theatrics to it.
Oh, of
Mhm.
course.
Like they know what they're doing. They practice. They
Yeah.
got muscles for a reason. And I, like I said, I did it for 10 years, but it's hard. I was on stage for like 5 minutes at a time, and I was like winded, and I wasn't in the most peak physical
Physical condition.
condition, but I was small enough that people could lift me up
Right.
and throw me. So I
Yeah.
made it work for myself.
We all
and-
have our characters. We all have
Yeah.
our it's WWE-ish. Like we're all with our characters, and we stick by our characters.
Mhm.
We become those characters. So, yeah, you have to know what you're doing. You're also with somebody else, and you could actually get hurt. Which I know you get hurt in wrestling, but you also don't want to break your neck doing these flippy moves, which we do.
Yeah.
And Blow doesn't have the turnbuckles, so we're just on mats, and we
Yeah.
still do these flippy moves.
Mm.
So
Very impressive.
Yeah, and
That's
it's like
it.
I've sprained my knee, I've sprained my neck. Like it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And you know, we're not trained professionals. We learn from watching television, like they shouldn't tell you to do. You know, but you know,
Don't try this.
don't,
at home.
we do try it at home.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like it was just a really great opportunity to work with a group of really creative, wacky women.
Yep.
And guys too. But
Yep.
you know, it was a lot of fun, and
Mhm.
yeah, and that just kind of segued into burlesque a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So once around, let me start off this side. Mikey, what did you want to say that I wasn't smart enough to ask you about? Throw it in there.
Nothing really. I just think that I appreciate your having us on, talking to us, letting us perform a little
Definitely.
bit. I think what my co-troop mates do that I'm lucky enough to witness is a really cool thing, and I love having an opportunity to present it to people who might be interested in learning more about it.
Okay. Stabatha?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with everything. It's just a fun thing to do, and it's, you know, it's something different to come see. Boston has a nice big scene for it, but it's, you know, something interesting, and you're always going to have a good show. You're always going to be in for a treat, that's for sure.
Okay. Clara?
I mean, I love what I do, and I love people reacting to it. One of the greatest things about burlesque is it is a live audience.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the people going woo and screaming and all that, and
Yeah.
it makes you feel really empowered and really, you know, it's a high basically. Like, it's a
Definitely.
really natural high, and it's, you know, if you feel a little shy and a little nervous as soon as you get up there, it's just like, all right, I'm taking my clothes off in front of a bunch of strangers.
People are going to cheer.
And they're going to cheer no matter what. So it doesn't matter if you got a couple extra rolls or if you're, you know, you're not comfortable in your own skin for whatever reason. Nobody cares. They just, you know.
Well, here you have it, on the Sal Show, the first ever. So I'll turn it
first.
back to you.
I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Thank you, Neal.
Thank you.
Neal Anderson of Malden, and I'm Paul McGillicuddy from Medford, and so thank you. It's we got all the information I needed, and I learned a lot by the question and answer.
Good.
Well, that's all the time we have today for Sal's show. Sal's show is your show. So if you would like to be on Sal's show, you have a special talent, could be dancing, singing, anything at all, contact Sal at this address.
I'm Clara Blows from All the Rest.
I'm Stabatha the Thrills from All the Rest.
And I'm Mikey Shake from All the Rest Burlesque. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.